Charles Manson was instructing Tex Watson to go to the house and totally destroy everyone in it, and do it as gruesome as you can. He then instructed Susan Atkins, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Linda Kassaman to do whatever Watson said. The quartet climbed up a bushy embankment to the right of the gate and entered the ground. Shortly after entering, the headlights from a white 1965 AMC Ambassador coupe approached the group. Inside was Stephen Parent. Parent was ordered to halt by Watson while the women hid in the bushes. Watson then aimed a .22 caliber revolver at Parent, who was begging for his life. He offered him any money he had, everything he had. Watson then aimed a .22 caliber revolver at him and shot him. Instead of sparing him, he also pulled out a knife and lunged at him, stabbing him multiple times, severing tendons and cutting the watch off of his hand. He then shot him a total of 10 times. You good?
I love you, pretty girl.
Just thought we'd start out with that for you. We all know who that's from.
That was a cool introduction compared to last week.
Yeah, you know. Everybody, welcome to another fantastic Saturday evening. We're back on our normal day here to the Murder Show. I am your host, as always, Tim, and alongside of me, I have my co-host here, Criminology Chris.
Hey, good evening, everybody. I can't believe that. I don't know, it was just a day shorter, but it feels like it hasn't been an entire, week. I mean,
Yeah.
Just went faster. I don't know.
It really did.
Yeah. Just like loss of the day.
Well, we also, we did the show on a Sunday, so now it's, I guess, one day shorter.
That's what I'm saying, but it feels like it was a few days ago. So
Yeah, right. Yeah, so, and then alongside of Criminology Chris, I have Chris. Yeah. Classroom Jackie.
What's up, guys?
So, as many of you probably have listened to last week, we are on a two-part series here. We did part one last week of Charles Manson, and tonight we are going to finalize and finish that all up on part two.
Yeah.
So, yeehaw, we are having some fun here. And as always, don't forget, if you don't already follow us, please do. We are on TikTok and Facebook at Murder Show. Classroom Jackie posts updates on there all week long.
I just posted a picture. And we haven't picked a winner, and no one's been interacting with it. So how about from the top 5 who interact with the post we just did, somebody gets picked for that gift card?
Okay, we can do that. Yeah, that's right. $100 gift card to the serial killer website, serialkiller.com. They got a lot of cool shit on there. Also, we want to do a shout out to our sponsors, Unique Detail LLC. They're in Northeast Ohio. They're always running all kinds of awesome deals and specials. Check them out there on Facebook as well. And then also our other new one here, which I am.
Crafty Creations by Laura.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't have mine. We've had a little bit of technical difficulties getting things going here today.
Yeah.
So
you guys can see us. Normally we can see ourselves. Yeah. We can't tonight.
Technology's great. Yes, it's Crafty Corner by Laura. All handmade crochet items, jewelry, plushies, and more. You can check them out on Instagram at Crafty Corner by Laura and on Etsy. You can also email them at thecraftycornercrochet@gmail.com. So we'd like to thank them for sponsoring the show too as well. Laura has a lot of really cool things that she makes. It's all handmade stuff. So thank you, Laura, for doing that. So yeah, other than that, I say we jump right into this. What do you think here?
Yeah.
Let's go.
You can kind of tell everybody, anybody that maybe didn't listen to the episode, where we left off and where we're going to kind of pick up from if you want.
So we left off where Charlie Manson had shown up at the Tate residence after Melcher had moved out. So their first encounter, and she called him the creepy guy. And Polanski were actually getting ready to head to Europe for the for filming. They were getting ready to work on a production.
Creepy guy. He looked like nice enough fella.
Do you know
Yeah.
the day that they flew out? It was April 1st. And that'll be
April Fool's Day.
an interesting fact for once we dive into the Tate murders.
Boy, that's always fun. Let's fly out on April Fool's Day, right?
Yeah, well, it's better than trying to fly right now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true.
What? You laughing at me?
Yeah.
Alrighty, so yeah. So we are at was it Gary was his first name?
Yeah, we're up to the Hinman murder.
Yes, the Hinman murder here, which was pretty crazy because Manson had sent a couple of the girls over there to try to get money from him. They were strapped for cash, I know, and
It was a girl and Bobby Beausoleil. Bobby went over there because I believe he ended up getting arrested after the fact. Because right. So like they ended up going into Hinman's house and holding him hostage for what, 2 days?
Yeah, it was 2 days.
Yeah, so they basically just sat around, held this guy hostage, tried to extort money out of him. Or tried to get money out of him. He was previously selling them drugs and supplying drugs to the family, so he had been involved with them, but he wasn't actually part of the Manson family. So, but they were running low on cash, so eventually they, Charlie went back to his ways of trying to procure money, which was the criminal path, and he ended up sending them over to his place to try to get cash out of him because
it was the supposed inheritance of $21,000.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, I mean, they were already paying him a bunch of money for drugs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to make the assumption that the guy's got money on hand.
yeah.
If you're throwing money at him all the time, you'd assume somebody else probably is too.
I don't know. I believe
So-
he probably really didn't have any money there that he could give them.
Well, and that could be. I mean, maybe he's spraying drugs. Maybe he's paying off somebody.
He was.
Who knows, right?
He was. So, according to what I found, they had gone over there to the house to recover money that had been paid to Hinman for mescaline, MES, mescaline provided to the straight Satans, and that had supposedly been bad. So he owed them money.
Oh, so he probably paid back. I mean, I assume that was like a gang of some motorcycle gang.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't see much
I
about
have
it.
no idea who that is, but yeah, it doesn't sound like a group of people that I would love to interact with. So
Straight Satans.
Yeah, that sounds like
That was the motorcycle gang that Manson had brought in because his goal was to get them involved in the club
Oh yeah,
that's right.
to kind of help security type
Yeah.
thing was what his goal
Well, I
was.
feel better with those guys hanging around watching my back. I don't know.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing is you just don't want to cross paths the wrong way with each other.
Or if you do, don't give them bad shit, right?
Yeah.
Probably would try to verify the quality of that prior to delivery.
The two women had kept him hostage and were torturing him before Manson showed up with a sword and slashed his face and part of his ear off. Beausoleil ended up stabbing and killing him. I believe it was 12 times.
Beausoleil is such a long name. We'll just call him Bobby B.
Bobby B.
Bobby.
Please, can we
Bobby B.
please? And I apologize
Bobby B.
now. I am probably going to butcher at least one of these names.
That's okay. We forgive you. I
Okay.
think. I don't know.
Yeah, some of them are, more. Yeah, there's a couple of them that, I can't even pronounce. So,
Yeah.
whatever.
So when
Moving forward.
so he chopped off the ear and then they ended up Tex was the one that ended up killing, right?
No,
Was that
it
his
was
name?
Beausoleil.
Also, I'm thinking
Yeah.
of Tex, that's right, Texas.
Yeah, Watson wasn't there at this time.
Yeah, which is surprising me because Tex usually did most of the killing.
It was just Atkins, another one, and Beausoleil there until Manson showed up.
Oh, okay.
I keep calling him Beausoleil. Beausoleil. Bobby B.
We're just going to call him that from now
Let's
on.
just go with
please.
Bobby B.
Speak to us. Damn it, Bobby.
That was good. That was really good.
I
Coffee
think
doesn't
she had
feel
coffee go
good.
through her nose there.
It doesn't feel good. Thanks, guys.
Shit.
Bobby B ended up stabbing him in his time. He was tied to a chair when he.
Hey, we have somebody in the chat here, One Springer 05, wants to know if I'm wearing pants.
Oh,
Yes, I'm wearing pants.
Whoa.
I am. Hey, whoever you are, thank you.
this flies down though.
Yes, I have pants. I have jogging pants on. But anyways, okay. Are you like my secret admirer fan or something? Would you like me to not wear pants? What are we getting at here?
I mean, you still can't tell. You're under a desk.
Yeah,
The
that's
only ones you
why.
can see are us.
Yeah, that's why I have this desk, because I don't wear pants.
It's kind of like a news anchor. Those guys always wear like a suit on the top and the shorts on the bottom.
Oh, like COVID style?
They put cracks. Yeah.
Listen, this has been a great beginning so far. I don't even know where the fuck we're going, but it's awesome and I love it. Classroom Jackie, if you want to fire the hole here and kind of get, well, never mind, she's answering some fan mail real quick here. So,
Sorry.
no, you're fine. Are you good?
Yeah, one of our followers, we actually have somebody who's been a follower from day one, and they just messaged and asked if there's a chance that they could be the winner of this because they've done so much for the show and promoting and everything.
Do we know them?
We do.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah. I think this is a we'll have to have a nice discussion and
Yes.
see where it
This will be over gin and juice and fire.
goes. Not a fire tonight, it's way too
Oh,
cold.
yeah.
Yeah. Fire times go.
But our time
Fire
gone.
time go.
I mean, you guys put up the motorcycles today.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. That's sad. It's a sad. I don't even have any sad sounds for that, but
Aww.
all right. Okay, so we are at where they get to the
Boy.
Tate residence. This is Jackie's going to paint you a really good picture here. This is crazy the way this all went down. So, which I'm sure a lot of you know about it, but we really, since we're specifically covering one thing tonight, we really, when we talked last night, we all said that we really want to paint that picture and really get in depth with this tonight, because I can only imagine what it was like being in that house for Sharon and the other couple.
So
That
before,
was heartbreaking. Just awful.
before we get into this, I'm going to put out a massive trigger warning. Some of the things you can quit with that face. There are some people who don't like to hear this stuff, and it's being polite.
Well, they probably wouldn't want to listen to the murder show. Yeah, it's kind of implied. That's all I'm saying. Is it's kind of implied.
But there was still like things like this episode is going to be child
We're
loss.
going to talk about fluffy bunnies tonight.
This is really on one tonight, guys. I apologize. He is on some shit tonight.
Fluffy bunnies and what other cuddly, happy things.
I went over to check with Chris about something about an hour before the show, and he was playing Roblox naked on his couch, so that ought to just tell you something.
Minecraft.
I'm sorry.
Why not?
Way to tell what goes on in our doors.
Okay.
Let's get to it now.
Good.
There's been talks of child loss, extreme amount of violence in this, and some of the things that we're going to hear came from the victim's own mouth. So I just want to put the trigger warning out there that it could be devastating and upsetting, extremely upsetting. Oh my lord. Extremely upsetting to some of our listeners.
What's upsetting is you messing that word up so many times.
It is pretty upsetting. I'm sorry. Now, last night while we were sitting there talking, I spent the whole 2.5 hours typing this whole thing up and just finished it tonight. To set the tone of this, on the night of August 8th, 1969, at 8.5-month pregnant Sharon Tate, the wife of Roman Polanski, her former lover and renowned hairstylist Jay Sebring, aspiring screenwriter Wojciech Frykowski, I think that's right.
Yeah, I think you got it, and anybody can try to nail that name. I mean, that's a name.
I mean, after listening to it 6 times on the show last night, I had to get it right.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a tough name.
It was, and his girlfriend, heiress to Folger's copy, Abigail Folger, who had actually been house sitting since April 1st, which was the day that Polanski was already in Europe. Tate and a photographer who had been there flew out to join him. It was right after those encounters where Manson had shown up
Oh,
and
yeah.
had called him the creepy guy.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
They had been staying there as well with Tate while Polanski was still in Europe. They had just returned from dinner at El Coyote and had gathered at 10,050 Cielo Drive in Los Angeles, California. Also present was 19-year-old caretaker William Garrettson and his 18-year-old friend Stephen Parent. At the same time that they were gathering, Charles Manson was instructing Tex Watson to go to the house and totally destroy everyone in it, and do it as gruesome as you can. He then instructed Susan Atkins, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Linda Kassaman to do whatever Watson said. Just after midnight, the quartet arrived at the residence. Watson climbed a telephone pole and cut the phone line. They then backed the car up and parked it at the bottom of the hill that led to the estate. Believing the gate may be electrified or had an alarm, the quartet climbed up a bushy embankment to the right of the gate and entered the ground. Shortly after entering, the headlights from a white 1965 AMC Ambassador coupe approached the group. Inside was Stephen Parent, who was leaving after visiting his friend. Parent was ordered to halt by Watson while the women hid in the bushes. Watson then aimed a .22 caliber revolver at Parent, who was begging for his life. He offered him any money he had, everything he had. Watson then aimed a .22 caliber revolver at him and shot him. Instead of sparing him, he also pulled out a knife and lunged at him, stabbing him multiple times, severing tendons and cutting the watch off of his hand while Parent tried to defend himself. He then shot him a total of 10 times. You good?
Okay. Well, I stopped believing it's true.
He then shot him 4 times in the chest and abdomen, killing him in the front seat. Watson then instructed them to push the car back up the hill and park it. How do we do that?
Why did they drive it back up the hill?
Because they didn't want them to hear the noise, probably. Because he was leaving.
Oh, he was leaving.
He had been there visiting the caretaker, Garrettson. He was just there to visit his friend. He wasn't even there with Tate and them.
What I don't understand is they shot him. How did Sharon and them in the house not hear the gunshots?
That's kind of where I was headed, because you're worried about the car running, so let's push the car up the hill. But don't worry about the damn 22 going off.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. And they're in the house, unless they were having like some loud ass party, which they weren't.
They weren't. They had just came back from dinner and separated and went to different areas of the house.
So yeah, that's what's so weird to me is that you think they would have heard those gunshots and thought, what was that? And kind of like looked or maybe locked the doors or something,
Yeah,
that's what's so odd to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, especially out there was nobody really around.
No.
So like even in suburbia, I mean, I still would hear a 22 go off. It's not extremely loud. It's loud enough.
And
just to get your attention.
Yeah. And they're in a rich neighborhood that you're normally not going to hear gunshots.
Right. Yeah.
It's mansions. I mean.
And this estate, if you look up pictures of it, which there's a few on our TikTok and Facebook, it's a huge area. There was tons of woods around it too.
Right.
So it's not like it wouldn't be noticeable. It would be with the area they were in.
Yeah. Right. These are not natural occurring animal sounds. They don't sound like 22s.
Yeah. Right.
But
yeah.
If you also look at the pictures from the front of the crime scene, there was a pretty steep driveway where the gate was to the distance from the house. So it could have been quiet enough that they didn't hear it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, gunfire travels.
That's what I'm saying.
But yeah, I mean, we won't ever know. But it's still just weird to me. I thought that was one of the people watching the thing on it too.
Yeah.
It's just like, wait a minute, and he shot him multiple times in that car. And it's like, So then you got the sound of it hitting off the inside of the car because the gun was pointed in the car. So you got the sound ricocheting off the inside of the car and coming out, which is gonna,
Amplify
amplify it.
like a speaker.
It makes a good completely crack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe they just didn't think nothing of it in there, or maybe they were just enjoying their time spending with each other and they just thought nothing of it. But,
Yeah, and being down there around midnight. I mean,
yeah.
sound travels pretty.
Well, yeah, because like you guys said, it was quiet there.
There was
Yeah,
no
it was
traffic.
like-
They weren't on a main road, I believe.
You know.
Maybe they thought it was that guy leaving. It was his car backfired or something.
It could be.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Watson then ordered Linda to stay by the gate and keep watch. Watson then cut the screen on a window and climbed inside, letting Atkinson and Krenwinkel in through the front door. He then whispered to Atkins some instructions. Sleeping on the living room couch was Frykowski. Watson woke him up and kicked him in the head. When Frykowski asked Watson who he was, he replied saying he was the devil there to do the devil's work. He then proceeded to bind his hands with a towel. Now, those instructions that he whispered to the girls were to find the other occupants of the house and bring them to the living room. Unfortunately, they found them. Abigail had retired to her room to read a book, while Sharon and Jay were in her bedroom talking. Atkins actually walked by Abigail's room, and she smiled and waved at her, thinking that she was one of Tate's friends.
jeez.
Yeah. Abigail, after leaving, Atkins then returned and showed Folger a buck knife and instructed her into the living room, while Krenwinkel gathered Tate and Sebring. Once they were in there, Watson took a long nylon rope and began to bind Tate and Sebring by their necks, then threw it over a beam on the ceiling, pulling it tight. What's a buck knife?
A buck knife it's a brand. Buck actually made knives. They were actually the first creator of a folding knife that they say could actually withstand or be used as like a fixed bladed knife. So they're a quality name in the business. So, but they are a brand similar to K-Bar or whatever. What other quality knife brands? But I guess it comes with a heck of a nice warranty. So it's a nice knife, but it's probably either a large folding knife or a large fixed blade knife of some sort.
Okay. And then if he had them bound by a long nylon rope and threw it over the ceiling beam, why didn't he just hang them there?
Well, I think no, their intent wasn't necessarily to, as you had mentioned, they were supposed to make it as gruesome as possible. Their intention was to actually stab them. If it was to hang them, I mean, it would have been pretty easy, no?
Yeah. Oh yeah, right over the beam.
Yeah, I think they just pulled it tight just to hold them in place so they'd stand in place so they wouldn't be running around.
Yeah, pretty much to
But
where.
they had found them on the floor with burn marks on their necks from the rope.
Well, I think they were on the floor. I think they were found with the rope maybe on them on the floor. But I think the rope burns was probably from them trying to pull it tight and they were standing with the rope maybe around their neck.
Oh, okay.
And they were moving. You know, they weren't just standing there and not moving. They were probably turning their head or moving their body, which probably, exactly, created that burn.
Watson then stabbed him 7 times and killed him.
It's crazy.
Frykowski, who was able to unbind himself, began to struggle with Atkins, who stabbed at his legs with a knife while he fought his way to the front door onto the porch. He ran past Linda. His face was covered in blood, and while he was standing near the post, he later stated in a testimony that she said to him, "Oh God, I am so sorry. Please make it stop." Frykowski fell to the ground into some bushes, where unfortunately Tex Watson had caught up to him and proceeded to hit him in the head repeatedly with the butt of the revolver, before stabbing him and shooting him 2 times. Frykowski continued to struggle across the lawn, receiving a total of 51 stab wounds, as well as being struck in the head 13 times, enough to bend the barrel and break off one of the gun grips.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's a lot of power you put behind that. I mean, in order to bend the barrel of a revolver, did he shoot anybody else other than the guy in the car that was coming up the driveway, and then
No.
him? Well, that would make sense. See, we talked about that one. Who were we talking about? Warnos, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We were asking the question like, how she's got a revolver. How is she shooting people 9 times? You think? At least he shot the one guy 4 times, the other guy twice.
With 6.
Would be 6 bullets in the gun.
Now, the only reason they knew that the gun was bent and the grips were gone was because they recovered it at the crime scene. So they left the gun there.
That's just crazy. I mean, that's like you said, that he had to have been hitting a lot of bones.
Oh, that skull? His skull was probably smashed in.
Oh, it would have had to have been, because you're talking metal on a gun, which is heavy.
And the butt of it is where all the weight is. It's not at the barrel, it's at that butt. And add the force of your hand, you're going to break tons of bone.
Because Chris, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, when the metal that they're using when they make those guns, it's got to be like a 12 gauge metal.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at a picture of a gun. Actually, David just actually shot me a picture. Actually, if you look at this thing, it's pretty stout. Now I can't tell that it necessarily is bent by looking at it, but you look at it there.
That's a heavy duty.
Doesn't that look like a seriously?
Yeah.
I mean, the barrel on that thing looks like a muzzle loader.
That's why I was saying it's got to be a 12 gauge steel.
Well,
I will post some of these pictures that are being sent to us right now after the show so people can see it. There are pictures out there, unfortunately, of the actual crime scene and Sharon Tate and things like that. We will not be posting those.
If you want to see them, just look them up yourself.
If you want to see them, feel free to dig into that, but we are not doing that.
And that's not. But yeah, I mean, honestly, like if you have a 22 caliber gun, like you were saying, Tim, I think the inside diameter of that barrel, because of the caliber, is pretty small. 22, right?
Yeah.
And then the exterior of the gun, like I mean, they make guns in different calibers. The barrel, I mean, the thickness of that barrel had to be pretty stout.
Yeah. Comment on here, somebody's asking, was Sharon Tate targeted because of Roman Polanski's rape charges?
Oh.
That's a good question.
I don't believe it was. I believe because the person that used to live there was Melcher, and Manson had felt betrayed by him, that he went there thinking he was still going to be there, and then found out he wasn't and just targeted that house.
So, what Classroom Jackie's saying is, long story short, the gentleman that lived there before Sharon Tate and Roman did was a record producer, and he originally said he was going to get a hold of Charles and possibly give him a deal, and he never did. And Manson kept trying to get a hold of him, and then they pretty much ghosted him. And that's where he had lived prior, and then he moved out and sold the house, and then Roman and Sharon moved in. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much where it was. And at that point, I remember him saying on the documentary that we watched that Charles just wanted to cause chaos, as much damage as he could in that home. Because the record producer moved away and moved out, and Manson didn't know nothing of it. So I think he felt betrayed even more, like this guy's jumping ship and running away from you now. So that's why he sent them to that house. So she was not targeted because of, Polanski's rape charge at all, but that's a good question.
That was, and then somebody just asked, David did the Tate residence have security? And no, there was absolutely no security.
No, yeah, none.
It was-
Which,
It was back then when they were celebrities, but there weren't death threats and things like that
Yeah.
so much.
yeah,
Whereas now you can pay to have security.
I don't know how much technology they really had back then too. We know they probably didn't have, cameras and stuff like they do now,
Then you're probably more likely to have a guy sitting in a hut.
Yeah. Yeah. But they hadn't been in there that long, so maybe that's why they didn't have security yet, because they were recently moved in, I mean, but yeah, they did not have security, so.
I think the attack on that house, I think there were just a few things at play there. I mean, one was obviously, it could have been a little bit of money involved. I mean, there was the strain that Charles was going through because it didn't seem like any of this started taking place. They were much more of a group of people that sat around playing music and dropped acid and all that kind of shit until all of a sudden they started running out of money, and then, like you said, Charles got pushed away from that record deal situation.
Yeah. He started going down that hole after Melcher.
Yeah, as soon as that happened, like, he kind of put him in a bad place, and he decided that I'm not going to be a musician, so the only thing that I'm going to be able to do is
Go back to my old ways.
go back to the criminal activity thing. But targeting town, like you're saying, I think it was the whole helter-skelter situation where they were, he was trying to basically create the situation which he was trying to get all his believers to digest through the time in that cult, which was like, hey, this is going to be like Armageddon. The black man is going to take over the United States, and there's going to be this big war between the two races, and that kind of situation. He was trying to encourage that to happen throughout those murders and the things that took place. Like, they were writing, the political piggy thing, and writing pig on the door. In addition to that,
They had done that at the Hinman residence where they put pig
right.
to try and encourage it.
That's what I'm saying. So he was kind of just trying to fast track that whole situation. I think he was trying to make himself look like, hey guys, look, I know what I'm talking about. This is actually happening.
Yeah. Which
I didn't realize it wasn't happening, so I'm going to go try to make it happen.
Yeah, right.
So make it seem like the Black Panthers or somebody were going in and killing these people.
Which is crazy, because everything he did didn't change nothing, didn't solve nothing. It didn't, this whole Black Panther and Helter Skelter movement he was trying to do was just bullshit, It's like, dude, what did it even solve?
Yeah, it just seemed very real to a bunch of idiots that were living off the grid.
LSD and they just thought they were actually going to make a change, and it's like, no.
Yeah, and maybe that, like I said, maybe they weren't completely idiots, but they're living off the grid. They don't have access to all the information that most people have when they're living in a city.
Yeah,
they're just basically listening to this guy and taking his word for what's happening, what's going to happen.
Yeah. Yep.
That's how he became a leader.
It's a damn shame they paid attention to it, but a lot of drugs.
Yeah, that's just it. I mean,
Who knows?
Take away the drugs, and that he was a good-looking guy back then, and I wonder if he would have got following like he did.
Yeah, you gotta wonder if they would have looked at him and, like I said, there's so many people there. You think they'd look at each other and be like, "Hey, is this guy really serious? Is this shit for real?" Like,
yeah.
I don't know that I can really believe it.
That time period was called the Summer of Love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was pretty much like hippie fests and
Right.
stuff, right? I mean,
so, and not everybody that was there did drugs and stuff like that. So you would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think there'd be some kind of mutiny, especially after these guys like kicking the crap out of people.
Cassavan didn't participate in taking acid.
Sabian?
Sabian. I'm calling her Cassavan. She's not alive anymore.
If they all would have just went to Woodstock, it would have been fine. Listen to some good music and just went to Woodstock. You can do all your drugs there and call it a night. But no,
pitch a tent, hug each other.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Throw up the horns and call it a night. But nope.
About coming back to the acid, do you think that could have had something to do with how violent this is? Like how violent the attack is, or the Manson telling them to make it as gruesome as possible?
No, I didn't see anything as to whether or not any of them were currently using drugs during that period of time that occurred.
I didn't
And I don't know that they necessarily could have proved it in that time period anyway.
I don't
But
think they were.
But
I
you don't
think-
know.
But you don't know. But I think they were doing a lot of that when they were all at the Spawn Ranch,
Okay.
having their, fuck fest and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's when they were mostly doing it. But like you said, Chris, we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly could have. I mean, you could be onto something there. There could be a disconnection, from a moral or internal, point of view that caused them to have less connection to,
Yeah.
feeling bad about stabbing somebody.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
All right. So
Now, at some point, and I'm assuming this, Folger must have tried to plead for her life because Carmichael took her back to her bedroom and got $70 out of her purse to give to them. So I'm assuming she tried to plead for her life, saying that she had money.
yeah, she must have been. I mean, if she went back to get $70, I mean, she must have thought maybe if I give him some money, this could stop. But at that point, I feel like it was so far into it,
Yeah,
but she's in panic mode. So
you're gonna try anyway.
yeah. I mean, I can't say I've never been put in that, scenario, thank God. But yeah, because at that point, you're already far into it. You've already got somebody killed,
Mm-hmm.
but she's probably panicking.
Folgers began struggling with Krenwinkel. After being stabbed multiple times, she was able to break free and ran down a hallway and fled out a bedroom door into the pool area, where unfortunately Krenwinkel caught up with her, tackling her to the ground, and she began stabbing her until Watson showed up to assist. In total, she was stabbed 28 times.
That's crazy.
Krenwinkel would actually state later that her hand hurt so bad from hitting bone while she was stabbing.
Yeah, that's insane.
There's a quote they were asked about this. Atkins was after the murders and they were arrested, saying that Abigail had said, "I give up. You've got me. I'm already dead," as she was dying. It's hard.
That is disgusting, honestly.
Yeah. When you're hitting somebody that hard, breaking bone, that your hand hurts. And then the fact that you're going to complain, my hand hurts so bad because I was breaking your body.
Yeah, your poor hand.
Yeah, your poor hand, right?
But the fact that Watson, he had just got done stabbing and murdering Fritkowski on the front lawn,
Yeah.
came running back there and assisted her and kept stabbing as well. That to me is just awful.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine.
Horrible.
Yeah, you're not too incredibly human in my book at that point.
No.
How do you
In the house, in an attempt to save her unborn baby, pleaded with Atkins and Watson to live long enough to give birth. Oh my gosh, to give birth, and offered herself as a hostage. Instead, Atkins and Watson stabbed her 16 times, killing her and her unborn child. They then hung her and Sebring. According to the coroner's report, Tate was still alive when she was hanged, whereas Sebring was lifeless. Her cause of death was massive hemorrhaging. Atkins later, after her arrest, stated that she had thought about cutting the baby out and hanging it as well.
That's disgusting.
That's sick. That's
It's-
fucking nasty.
He wanted gruesome. This is gruesome. It's
Yeah, but
oh,
cutting the baby out, oh my God, man. Just, the baby's already gone. We don't need to further by pulling the baby out and doing it. I mean, come on.
no. How?
And thank God that she didn't do that. But to even think about that,
Could you imagine if Polanski was there as well?
Yeah.
It's oh. According to Watson, Manson had told the women to leave a sign of something. Atkins, using Tate's own blood, wrote "pig" on the front door. She did this to copy the Hinman murder scene in order to try and get Bobby out of jail, who was in custody for that murder. If you look it up, you can see the picture where Roman is sitting next to the door where his wife's blood is written. It is awful.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
That poor guy. Chris, you brought up a good point last night when we were doing prep that, and Roman, he's still alive. He's 93, you said, right?
92 or 93. 92.
Just the stuff that he went through, survived, excuse me,
He got out of Poland.
cost, and all that.
He's 92.
Lee was killed. Then this happens to his wife and their first child, and he survives that. I mean, Roman's got to be sitting there thinking, like, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that his family was killed over there. No, all I know is that he got out of Poland during the actual Nazi occupation of Poland, or just prior to, or what exactly that situation was. But I mean, to avoid that, and then come all the way over to America and to have to go. I mean, that guy's been through.
Oh, dude.
I mean, in 92 years, he's been through so many things.
Yeah. Yeah, and I remember
They were actually, he and his family were trapped in the Krakow ghetto after his mother and father were taken in raids.
Oh.
Yeah, he's been through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And I remember the interview where they were talking to Tate's sister, and she said that she remembers talking to Roman on the phone, and she could hear, and she goes, "This is a guy that was always like, emotion showed none." And she said, yeah. And she said, I can remember hearing it in his voice over the phone and how affected that he was by this just
destroyed, but yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine.
Oh, yeah.
That would be one of those things that's just life ending. I'd walk off a cliff right then and there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
But he stayed through it, and he, like you said, 92 now, he's still alive. I mean.
And he did not remarry for 20 years. He married in 1989. Wow. So after Sharon died.
He was in love, and then some people don't, and some people do. Some people it takes them a long time to get over it and move on. And with him.
Yeah, I mean, if your wife and your unborn child are killed, I mean, I'd never get that close to anybody ever again. I'd be terrified that anything would happen. It's car accident, I'd be petrified.
Yeah. Plus, everybody knows about it in the world, so anybody you meet, and if you try to date, they're going to bring it up.
Oh, yeah.
It was a huge thing,
right.
Go ahead.
Manson was displeased with the attacks, with the Tate murders, everything, completely displeased, and planned to go out the next night. He and the four murderers, plus Leslie Van Houten and Clem Grogan, went for a drive. Casaban gave him an address, 301 Waverly Drive, in the Los Feliz section of Los Angeles. Located next door to a home where Manson and the families had attended a party the previous year. It belonged to 44-year-old supermarket executive Leno. We'll
go with Big L.
Big L. La Bianca.
Not to stop you for a second, but did it say, do we know why Manson was displeased with that? I mean, what more did he want?
I don't know.
You're displeased with that. I'm sorry, you didn't have enough blood. You didn't hit everybody enough. You bent the revolver, the barrel, but I'm pissed off at you because you didn't go crazy enough.
I think it was the inadequacies of the previous night. He didn't think it was up to his quality of what he wanted or how gruesome he wanted it.
yeah.
Well,
Anyway, sorry, I just didn't
No,
know.
you're
I mean,
fine.
because that's just displeased.
well, the next night, so not only did they just get done killing Tate, Sebring, Frykowski, Folger, and Parent, and an unborn baby, they're going to kill the next night 2 other people. From what I'm seeing right now, it's pretty violent. As well.
To try to make up for how he's displeased.
And he leads the whole thing pretty much. So he's not murdering them, but he's leading the whole
Like
charge.
he's been doing, leading.
So the 4 plus Manson, Van Houten, and Grogan ended up at 3301 Waverly Drive. It belonged to 43-year-old Leon LaBianca and his wife, Rosemary LaBianca, the co-owner of a dress shop. According to Atkins and Casaban, Manson disappeared up the driveway and returned to say he had tied up the occupants. Watson, Krenwinkel, and Van Houten entered the property. Watson claimed in his autobiography that Manson went up alone, returned to take him with him to the house. Manson pointing out a sleeping man through a window, and the 2 entered through the unlocked back door. Watson claims Manson roused the sleeping Leon from the couch at gunpoint and had Watson bind his hands with a leather thong.
Might be the same one Chris wears. I don't know. Leather, he said.
Leather's not a very breathable material, so I try to, it just doesn't.
Except for when you wear your assless chaps.
Well, but they're assless, so you got room to breathe there. I mean, typically, it's got to fly in front of you all day long and get a circulation of air that will essentially cool you.
Which brings me to my next point. I want the footy pajamas that have the butt flap. I really do. How perfect would that be when you got a poop?
Yeah,
let's just get that out there.
The footies, your feet would never be cold.
No.
No.
The only thing is when I'm sleeping in the middle of the night with my feet get hot, I'd end up taking a knife and cutting my feet apart. So my feet hang out,
Just get footless ones and put socks on them.
You eliminated your carpet, so I mean, if you think about it, you wouldn't have to worry about static or being able to shock others.
Yeah.
At will.
That's not true. If I wear my onesie, I shock the crap out of you.
Yeah, you do. It's upsetting. It's terrifying. I don't come within 10 feet of her when she's wearing that static suit.
She hides in the living room. Where am I?
Yeah.
It's worse when I go to give him a kiss. You can see like an actual bolt shot to the lips.
So, anyways, go ahead.
Rosemary was brought into the living room from the bedroom. Watson covered the couple's heads with pillowcases, which he bound in place with lamp cords. Manson left, and Krenwinkel and Van Houten entered the house. Watson had complained to Manson earlier of the inadequacies of the previous night's weapons. Watson sent the women from the kitchen to the bedroom, where Rosemary had been returned, while he went to the living room and began stabbing Leon LaBianca with a chrome-plated bayonet. Isn't that thing like this big?
I mean, it's the same thing like when he was walking around with that saber or whatever the hell he has, a sword or whatever. It's just absurd. He wanted more absurd weaponry, apparently.
Yeah. Like you said, with the sword and stuff, when you used to cut off the ear, it's like.
Yeah, we're going to send you in, but this time we're going to use a flail and a mace and a battle axe.
And they collect them in they got to try and catch them in one of those things that have the spikes.
Yeah, we're going
You got to catch them in this thing.
Yeah.
Oh, the Iron Maiden.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's going back into his medieval roots.
Yeah, medieval roots.
Oh my gosh. Would he be a peasant back then? He had no money.
Would he be a peasant?
He'd be a peasant.
Medieval Manson.
The first thrust went into Leon's throat.
Oh.
Watson heard a scuffle in the bedroom and went in there to discover Rosemary LaBianca keeping the women at bay by swinging the lamp that was tied to her neck. That is a badass right there.
Well, yeah. I mean,
It's
use
a
whatever
lamp
you got.
tied to your neck, and you're swinging at these women.
And you
What
use
the
whatever,
hell?
whatever you got.
I mean, she's taking a chance of choking herself, but she's trying to keep herself alive.
Yeah, well,
And I don't mean to laugh, but that's
No.
kind of badass.
well, yeah, because she wasn't going to give up without a fight. I mean,
No.
kudos to her.
Yeah. Watson stabbed her 7 times with the bayonet, then returned to the living room and resumed attacking Leon, who he stabbed a total of 12 times. He then carved the word war into his abdomen. Watson returned to the bedroom and found Krenwinkel stabbing Rosemary with a knife from the kitchen. Van Houten stabbed her approximately 16 times in the back and exposed buttocks. Van Houten claimed at the trial that Rosemary was already dead during the stabbing. Evidence showed that many of the 41 total stab wounds had in fact been inflicted post-mortem. Watson then cleaned off the bayonet and showered, while Krenwinkel wrote "Rise" and "Death to Pigs" on the walls, and "Helter Skelter" on the refrigerator door, all in LaBianca's blood. She gave Leon 14 puncture wounds with an ivory-handled, 2-tined carving fork, which she left jutting out of his stomach, and then planted a steak knife in his throat. So, even more violence, twice as harsh, to 2 people.
It had to be up to Manson's standards.
Mm-hmm. Manson drove the other 3 family members who had departed Spahn Ranch with him in the evening to Venice, to the Venice home of the Lebanese actor Saladin Nadar. Manson left them there and drove back to the ranch, leaving them and the LaBianca's killers to hitchhike home. According to Casaban, Manson wanted his followers to murder Nader in his apartment, but she claimed she thwarted this murder by deliberately knocking on the wrong apartment door and waking a stranger. The group abandoned the plan and left, but Atkins defecated in the stairwell as they were leaving.
Just a sweetheart.
So he wanted 3 murders in one day, pretty much.
Pooped in the stairwell. What are you doing?
Right.
Yeah.
So you showed them. Yeah.
They're already dead.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do? We're going to poop in the hallway.
Right.
Now, there is one more small noticeable murder, and it's actual testimony from one of the killers of what happened.
All right, let's hear it.
35-year-old Hollywood stuntman Donald Jerome Shorty was murdered on August 26, 1969, 2 weeks after the Tate LaBianca murders. When Manson told Shay, Bruce Davis, Tex Watson, and Stephen Gorgon to go on a ride to a nearby car parts yard on the ranch, according to Davis, he sat in the back seat with Grogan, who then hit Shay with a pipe wrench and Watson stabbed him. His testimony stated, "I was in the car when Stephen Grogan hit Shorty with the pipe wrench. Charles Watson stabbed him. I was in the back seat with Grogan. They took Shorty out. They had to go down the hill to a place. I stayed in the car for quite a while, but then I went down the hill later on, and that's when I cut Shorty on the shoulder with a knife. After he was, well, I don't know." And all of this is his testimony, so it's not me stuttering or skipping or anything.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if he was dead or not. He didn't bleed when I cut him on the shoulder. When I showed up, he was. He was incapacitated. I don't know if you asked if he was unconscious. I don't know. He may or may not have been. He didn't seem conscious. He wasn't moving or saying anything. It started off Manson handing me a machete as if I was supposed to. I mean, I know what he wanted, but I couldn't do that. And in fact, I did touch Shorty Shay with a machete on the back of his neck. Didn't break the skin. I mean, I just couldn't do it. And then I threw the knife. He handed me a bayonet. I just reached over and I don't know which side it was on, but I cut him right there on the shoulder.
Wow.
His skeletal remains were found in 1977.
Well.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot to unpack and unfold. I mean, just the fact that he coordinated all this stuff. Just boggles my mind.
I think it's amazing too the time period in which all this happened. It wasn't just this kind of stuff happens over a long period of time, and some of these stories that we discuss. Um, this whole shooting match. I mean, between last week and this week, I mean, this whole entire stinking thing was just a year in the life. It's just a year. Well, it wasn't.
You had said that Linda, a lot of that had only happened when she was only with them for 4 weeks.
Yeah, 4
1
weeks.
month.
Yeah.
1 month. She did sleep with him once. Manson.
Oh.
I think all them girls pretty much did.
Probably did. Yeah.
Yeah, when they were all high on the drugs and stuff.
Yeah, we were talking last week. Like, we went from beginning of like playing music and happy hippie loving horseshit to like militarized like murder.
Yeah.
And we're going into people's houses and slaughtering them. And we went from that to that
in a year.
In 4 weeks.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it was just.
And what honestly triggered him was that whole record deal.
Yeah, I think it really went sour when that came down the pipe. At least that's the way it seemed.
I mean, who knows what would have happened if they would have given him a record deal? I mean, I wonder how that producer felt after seeing all that on the news. He saw that was in his home and all that, and he's probably like, shit, you know, I should have given the guy a deal.
Yeah.
I mean,
you never know. I mean, when someone comes in and applies for a job and you don't give them the job and you give it to somebody else, the last thing you're going to think of is, man, this guy is going to go on a killing spree because I didn't.
You never, and
well, you don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there was, we had talked about it here where we live. There was other side of town, not far from us. There was that guy that went postal and shot and killed his mom and her mom in the house.
Oh yeah.
And what started it was he had gotten fired from his job he'd been at for a long time that day.
Yeah. Well, and like I said too, I mean, it could be multiple, and I'm sure even in that case, like it's not just that.
Well, yeah,
like there are multiple things at play here. I mean, he was just mesmerized by a Beatles album. He was under the not even the assumption, but the full and true belief that what he was saying was like the word of God, man. He believed all this was going to happen wholeheartedly, like he had convinced himself. So, I don't think he felt like what he was doing was necessarily wrong somehow.
Yeah.
Like he lost that connection to
that loving feeling.
That loving feeling.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but Cease to Exist was a banger. That was a banger.
Yeah. Well,
I rocked that shit in the ride. I mean, come on. That was a banger.
Oh my gosh. There's a picture of a shirt that you need.
What where's this coming from now? Okay. Well, we know who sent that, so
yeah.
You can chill out over there, trash garbage. Yeah. That's right. I said it. Trash garbage.
That's the same thing.
It don't matter. I don't give a shit. You and I will fight. So that sign over there says that one of only men you have not fought.
One of the only two men that hasn't beat.
Bring it on.
Hit him with a chair.
Bring it on, trash dumpster.
We'll record it too for the podcast.
Bring it on. So, sorry, go ahead.
Casavan didn't participate in any of these murders, so she was excused.
It's Kasabian.
Casavan.
Sorry. Just say,
Say Linda. Linda was used for the prosecution. She got immunity. She was not included in this because she actually did not commit any of the murders or involved in any of them. She was just there.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, I mean, she still was a part of it, so, but I mean, having the immunity,
But she
that
struck
they,
that deal with the prosecutor.
right, yeah, yeah. So she made a deal to roll on the family in order to protect herself from being incarcerated. So I think she was, I mean, how many people were actually, there were many people that received life sentences for
There
conspiracy, for
was
murder, for,
Watson, Krenwinkel, Manson, Atkins, and Van Houten.
okay.
And that gun wasn't found on the property of Tate. It was found by a 10-year-old boy. And he turned it in as a found gun. His father had to call the police department 10 times to get them to connect it to the Tate residence murders.
That kind of make you wonder too, like all the other people that were on the property at that point in time when all this was going down. You kind of like almost wow, it just the lack of coming forward and actually because there's a lot of people that had to have knowledge of what was actually happening.
Yeah.
And to not report that and to just sit back and watch it happen, you think there'd be some sort of, punishment that would come along with that.
Well, the prosecution, I think, struck a deal with that.
Right.
Said if she testifies against the Manson family, she
Right.
would get.
I just say,
Immunity.
but there wasn't just 6 people living on that ranch.
I wonder if the ones that he included or had as the murderers were like his top followers or the ones that he trusted the most.
Well, they're certainly the ones that the prosecution felt they were able to put away.
Well, they were the ones that were at all of the murders.
Yeah, right.
Because they used Linda's testimony. She gave all of the evidence, all of the facts. Well, not the evidence, but she told the account of both murders, like the big murders.
And what about the old guy that owned the spawn ranch? He was shacking up there with them too. Technically, he's holding, murders. Although he probably didn't know what was going on.
Right, well, that's the question, right? So whatever he did.
Yeah, whatever happened to him, you don't ever hear nothing else about him.
No.
Besides the fact that he was just getting the life by these girls that were being his babes, pretty much.
Yeah, I think the prosecution and I think the law enforcement at the time understood what was necessary in order to put a stop to the situation, and they knew, who was responsible. So I think they did a good job at putting away who needed to be put away.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So,
but it's just sad if you look at the lives that were affected there.
Oh,
and Sharon Tate, she really looked like she was very, very pretty.
She was extremely pretty.
It's sad. And then what, Roman had to go through after all that too. And then the unborn child and stuff. I mean, it's crazy. This whole Manson thing was my pick. For anybody that's new to the show, we said last week we've been going around between the three of us and doing our picks and stuff, which next week will be Chris's pick.
I got some ideas.
You got some ideas.
I got some ideas.
But I chose Manson because it's always been a really crazy story to me because technically he's not a serial killer, but the fact that he, just the brains that he had to organize this whole thing and do this for a year just blows my mind. I mean, this guy is like professional, manipulator, liar. I mean, just everything. Look at all the times that we covered last week that he got out on good behavior,
right.
In and out, like you stated, a good thing or a good point about the amount of years he spent locked up. I forget the way that you worded it, Chris.
Oh, yeah, I believe he was 32 when he got out of prison.
Yeah, he had spent 17 years.
Yeah, 17 of those years were spent in prison. So only 15 years of his life, up to the age of 32, were outside of prison walls. And then 1 year later, after he gets out of prison, he's going right back in for life. Truly, I mean, up until, what did he die at 82? or 83 or
He was
something.
83. He died in 2017.
So he died at 83 years old. So really, only 16 years of this guy's life were spent outside of a correctional facility of some kind.
Yeah.
You know.
Which is, bizarre.
Yeah.
But he would always get out on good behavior all the time for all this stuff, he'd get out and then he was up for parole February the 1 year, and then January he
raped
a kid in there, and then it's like, but still got out shortly after that, and it's like, how many times you gonna let this guy out?
Yeah,
but he had a way of getting into people's heads, I believe, manipulating them.
Now, he was convicted of 9 counts of first-degree murder by December of 1972. By 78, he had a parole hearing, but not to mention in 75, one of the members tried to assassinate Gerald Ford.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
So the family had calmed down, Manson had calmed down while he was in prison for 72 until 75. Then they had to be back in the spotlight.
I really do truly believe, and this sounds kind of messed up, but I really truly do believe that he was trying to change in some way, write all that music. And I think them screwing him over like they did just kind of triggered him.
It's like Hitler. Hitler wanted to be an artist, and one critiqued him and did not like what he said.
Yeah, I just believe
it like was a factor in pushing him over the edge.
It flips that switch.
Yeah, once again, I mean, a lot of contributing things in no way, shape, or form, and we want to really compare him to him because obviously.
Well, yeah, they're on different spectrum.
Right, yeah, completely different situation there entirely. But yeah, it is amazing that it really kind of seemed like everything really took a turn for the worst after that took place.
Yeah. But so this whole Manson thing was just, it's always been a really crazy story. That's why I decided and chose. Go ahead, you have something over there.
Did you know Squeaky was released from Federal Medical Center, Carswell, in 2009?
No, really?
Yeah. She was actually in West Virginia at a federal prison camp and tried to escape to get to Manson because she heard he had testicular cancer. Then when she was re-caught, she was sent back to a different prison, even higher security, and was released on parole August 14th of 2009. I wonder if she's still alive.
His balls were tired from banging all the women all the time, like drugs, so they finally said, "The hell with this."
Do you think they had him in like maximum security, like in his own cell, didn't talk to anyone, or was he with other people?
Manson was in Pelican Bay, I believe, which was that's like an underground supermax.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Where's that at?
That's out in the desert, man. That's out in
San Quentin.
Yeah.
Oh, San Quentin. That's where Randy Kraft's at. He's still alive. He's 80. He's in San Quentin too.
I thought he was in, what was Pelican Bay? I thought he was, I don't know.
No, he was in San Quentin until he started getting ill.
Yeah, okay. News to me.
Hey, you learn something new every day, right?
Get your facts straight.
Damn it.
Damn.
So on the, as we call it, on the fucked up scale of 1 to 10, Chris, what are you going to rate this? And why?
Oh, well, that's tough.
Yeah, that is on this guy. Yeah, you already one watch.
I honestly don't know what I'm going to rate him. I've never been thinking of him.
Why? Well, because he wrote good music. Finding me asleep.
I would say, I wouldn't say it's a redeeming thing for him that he seemed like he was kind of loosely, like not 100% right in the head.
Yeah.
During all this. I mean, who knows, right? I mean, I don't exactly, I am not a psychiatrist, I'm not a doctor, I'm not
well, yeah.
But it's difficult to tell what the motivations all were. Obviously, like strain theory says that he's trying to make something of himself, and that thing fell through, and he is where he is. The labeling theory behind it, you are who you are. You've been a criminal your entire life, so just continue your criminal mentality and your way of doing things. I think that he basically did exactly what he did because he didn't know else to do it. Uh, but the manipulatory way and fashion in which he accomplished what he did is inhumane, disgusting, and otherwise. I'd probably put him around a 8. Let's go with an 8.
All right.
Because it wasn't like some of the guys we've covered in the past where it's wow, he's just way off the reservation as far as
Yeah.
just gross and disgusting, but it's still just inhumane.
Yeah. Classroom Jackie, will you give him the why?
Don't go your phone.
I was not deserved.
I'm gonna have to go with a 7.5. 7.5.
We have decimals now.
Just the amount of manipulation and the way he was able to control and gain such a following, and still to this day, there are people who still follow his beliefs.
Yeah.
One of our TikToks, people are actually still happy about him and his thoughts and everything.
I know some of that.
It's weird. It's crazy, but for how violent and gruesome and the acts they did to Sharon Tate and her unborn child and ruined somebody's life, like it's a 7.5. It's violent. It's not again awful, but it's still awful.
Yeah. No, it's good.
What about you?
I'm going with a 10 because of manipulation and the way that he could control these people and he got into their mind. Sure, drugs was involved big time, but the way that he got into these people's heads and the shit that he did, and then that whole gruesome Tate murder, and he was dissatisfied.
That's pretty gross.
That just blows my mind. Like, really, dude?
Like, how can you be unsatisfied with that gruesome and more victims than the one they did the next night?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going with 10 definitely. That's me based on just because I know he didn't kill anybody, but the fact that he organized this whole entire thing is just like it's messed up.
Oh yeah.
But no, we hope everybody enjoyed the last 2 parts or these 2 parts that we did on Manson. Not enjoyed it in a great way there. We just enjoyed kind of diving into this, and maybe some of you learned a lot of things that you didn't realize and didn't know before. That's why we have the show and we do what we do. So as always, as I stated in the beginning, follow our social media. Classroom Jackie heads all those up, and she's always posting different things. And a little bit in the week, we will post here on the YouTube channel who our next one's going to be. Chris has a few ideas brewing in that skull of his.
Yeah, we'll come up with something interesting.
So, and on YouTube here, if you don't already, subscribe to our channel, please do. We are now at 40 subscribers. The stats are going up. We're all over the world and in different countries, people listening to. It's pretty cool. I can see all that broken down. So we thank you. We thank everybody for helping us grow. And this has been a dream of mine.
TikTok just hit 110 followers.
110 followers on TikTok. So
and 900 likes.
900 likes. That's awesome. So we appreciate it. We hope everybody enjoys the rest of their Saturday evening and the rest of their weekend. And I am going to leave you with some more Cease to Exist on the way out tonight because it's a banger. Fuck it, it's a banger. But it just slaps. I'm going to hook some subs up in my vehicle and just, drive around listening to Cease to Exist with my assless chaps on.
Yeah, mount a couple subs on your bike.
He's blasted.
Please don't.
Hey, pretty girl, you know. But anyways, guys, thank you. We're going to get the hell out of here and go do whatever we feel like doing because we're young, dumb, and we do whatever we want. So, yeah, Jackie, do your thing.
See you then. Same crime time, same crime place.
Bye.
Goodbye.